This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 918 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you, one day at a time. Greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip is an excerpt from the Horses in the Morning show. Jumper rider Diane Little joins the Hit 'em crew with some great advice on taming horse show jitters and dealing with when to move up a level and when not to. And we'll get to our tip right after this important message from Kentucky Performance Products.
This Nutrition Minute is brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products, the company that simplifies your search for research-proven nutritional supplements at kppusa.com.
The horse that matters to you matters to Kentucky Performance Products. Feeding your horse starch-laden grains can lead to colic, laminitis, and metabolic disease. Today, nutritionists are recommending the use of high-quality fat to provide healthy calories. Fat is an extraordinary energy source. It's readily utilized by the horse and contains more than 2 times the calories of starchy grains. Replacing grain with a high-quality fat supplement reduces a horse's risk of developing health problems. Equijewel Stabilized Rice Bran is an excellent fat supplement. It contains a balanced calcium to phosphorus ratio and won't cause mineral imbalances when added to the diet. Its all-natural ingredients are high in healthy fat and fiber. And best of all, horses fueled by Equijewel stay calmer and more focused on the job at hand. When you need to add healthy calories to your horse's diet, choose Equijewel. To learn more, visit Kentucky Performance Products at kppusa.com.
This Nutritional Minute has been brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products. You can find all of their terrific products at kppusa.com.
So I just arrived in Wellington. We just finished our first week of horse showing. So it's been a topic that has been very, very prominent and very much on my mind. So I figured, since I've been dealing with horse show anxiety with my students all week, I figured I would talk a little bit about, how we handle it and how I go about trying to get people past that point. I think one of the hardest things about horse showing is when anybody comes to a horse show, there's this pressure about the next division above you and moving up and jumping higher and this and that. And I really think that that's one of the reasons that my students deal with so much anxiety is they feel this pressure to have to get to that next level. So what I do is I always tell them that we are going to school at home one level higher, harder, more difficult than what you're going to do in the competition so that you feel fully prepared, if not overly prepared, when you walk into that arena. I can't say that solves the problem, but I certainly think that it can help dramatically.
So, Diane, when you have students who are competing at a certain level at shows, and they want to move up, but you feel like they're not ready to move up, how do you deal with that at the homeschooling situation? In other words, are there certain exercises, are there certain things that you do with those students at home to help them prepare better for that desire to move up? Are there things you can do with it?
I think that is one of the hardest things as a trainer is to help the students make those decisions and to tell the students when they're truly not ready. You want your students to be where they want to be. You want them to be successful. You want them to feel accomplished. So I want them all to be at that level that they want to be at. But, a lot of times it does happen that way where the trainers are getting pushed to have the students move up when they might not quite be prepared. So I was told when I was a working student for Wilhelm Genn, he told me that I had to have 10 rounds in the show ring that were consistent. Doesn't mean I had to win. Doesn't mean I had to even jump clean. Just consistent. And when I showed him 10 consistent rounds, he told me I was allowed to move up. So that's something that I've always kind of taken with me is the idea of, I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly 10, but you know what I mean. A very large amount of numbers of rounds in the show ring where I feel like I walk in there and I know that I am prepared, I feel confident. That's when I tell myself it's time to move to that next level.
Now, Diane, how much of it is peer pressure? Their best friend has moved up and they haven't.
A huge amount of it, especially when you're dealing with a lot of, then it becomes an extraordinarily large amount of it. And what I tell my girls, I have a lot of girls around that 13, 14 to 18-year-old range, I tell them that it's not just about them, it's about their horse. So sometimes we get so focused on us. We need to move up. It's our, I'm good enough. When the truth is it is a team sport with your animal. So maybe your animal's just not ready. Maybe your horse isn't isn't quite ready to make that step. So I try, especially with that age group, to take the focus away from them and put it more on the horse that they're riding at that time.
So Diane, now if we flip that over and look at the reverse, when you have a student who is ready to move up in that their riding skill is there, but emotionally maybe they're a little bit timid about moving up, what are some things we can do to work with that student?
I don't feel that it's my job to over-push the students when it comes to competition. I'll push them at home. When we're working at home, I will push them to challenge themselves. When we're at a competition, if my student tells me I'm not comfortable, we're not going to do it because those horses feel that anxiety. They feel those nerves.
That's a great advice right there. Great advice. Yeah.
It's just, you should, for the professionals, okay, it's about our business and about us, growing our business and making money at these horses. For a lot of these students, it's about enjoying yourself. So I really want them to come and feel confident and have fun and get those ribbons. It feels good to get a ribbon. Even if it is just, a piece of fabric, it still feels good to get that ribbon and take that home with you.
And now you're down in a place where the competition is stiff and where there's a million people all in one area, but where everybody wants to be. That has to add. When you head to Wellington, some of these kids, it's probably their first time, going to a situation like that. And then they're around all these top name riders from all over the world. The British are here. Everybody's there. It's got to add to the whole nervousness of it all.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Most of my students with me this year have never been here. So it was our first week, and plus it's Wellington, and we all know that for some reason causes anxiety just saying the word. And, we traveled all the way here, and it was definitely a week of just needing to remind them that they've done these classes time and time again, and if anything, you are in a situation like this set up to be more successful. You have phenomenal footing, you have phenomenal courses, you have absolutely wonderful organization at this horse show. You are set up to have a very successful day. So I try to take that pressure off. It doesn't really work. The big thing is to get them in that ring. Don't overdo that first round. If you have a rail, you have 2 rails, come out with a smile on your face. You know, that first round is about getting in there, experiencing it, and then after that I feel like we can take a deep breath and we realize that even though it is, you get to see the best riders in the world, you're still riding in a class that is appropriate for your level.
Right, yeah. So as usual, fantastic advice. I'm going to take lots of notes on this because it's great advice whether you ride hunters, jumpers, reiners, competitive trail horses. This applies to anybody who competes at any level. And are you posting all of your great adventures on the Piece by Piece Farm Facebook page for us?
We are. We're trying to put up tons of pictures, which I think is kind of mean because it's like 6 degrees in Philadelphia. But everybody is loving seeing the updates. So we are trying to keep everybody super updated with how we're doing.
Oh, that's great, as usual. So everybody, you can go out and keep track of Diane Little and her students' adventures by going to her Facebook page, which is Piece, P-E-A-C-E, by Piece, P-I-E-C-E, Farm. Usually if you put that into your Google search and you just put Piece by Piece Farm, it'll pop right up. And thank you once again for stopping by, Diane, and we'll see you next month.
Well, there you go. To listen to more tips on everything from barn care to websites for horse people, just go to horsetipdaily.com and look for the topics drop-down menu on the left. If you love listening to the Horses in the Morning gang putting in their 2 cents on everything horse, along with fascinating interviews from around the equestrian world, you can tune in every morning at horsesinthemorning.com. And now you can have every single one of your favorite Horse Radio Network shows with you wherever you go with the free Horse Radio Network app for iPhone and Android. Just go to your app store and search Horse Radio Network. And don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily, because without them, we couldn't bring you these wonderful podcasts. This podcast has been brought to you through the generous support of Kentucky Performance Products. You can find them online at kppusa.com. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.